So welcome guys back to another video in the channel. We are doing our match preview and predicted lineup for Arsenal's trip to Norway to Molde, and yeah, we drew to Leeds United in our last game, but we do turn our attentions to the Europa League, and it's going to be a very interesting one because Arsenal weren't good enough against Leeds United. If you haven't seen my match reaction and player rating for that, please go check that out. I'm not in the greatest mood in that one, but now I'm a bit better, gone over it a bit, and we are going to get straight into talking about this game. Again, the Europa League, it's a league in which we're doing very well in. We've won our first 3 games, so we'll go over the scores in a bit. But again, we are going to talk about Molde again. We did talk about Molde when we played them at home, but I do want to touch a bit more on their stadium, which is where Arsenal will be visiting, and the fans would have visited if they went to the game, but obviously it is being played behind closed doors. I don't think any fans are allowed in the ground for this game on their side. If I'm wrong, I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% on that one, but we will have to see in that respect. But looking at Arsenal, how they've done in their first 3 games in the group stage. First of all, we did play Rapid Vienna October 22nd. In that game, we did have a scare as they did score first. Fontas in the 51st minute scored for Rapid Vienna before David Luiz in the 70th minute and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the 74th minute got it back for Arsenal in a win versus Rapid Vienna. Going to group stage, the match day 2 now, 29 October, we beat Dundalk 3-0 in a game in which they were actually in the game for like 40 odd minutes, Dundalk, but then Eddie Nketiah in the 42nd minute, Joe Willock in the 44th minute, and then Nicola Pepe in the 46th minute, all between like 4 or 5 minutes. In 3 goals, we beat off Dundalk. We should have won that game a bit more, but again, we did sort of, after we scored the 3 goals, we sort of just left the game off, and we just saw it out, to be honest. We didn't really go for the kill as such. The last game, third game, we did actually go down again in this game. A very good finish from Martin Ellingson, a part-time plumber actually. We did go 1-0 down, and then an own goal in the 55 plus 1 minute gave us a 1-1 draw going into half-time versus Molde at home, and then Sheriff Sinyan another own goal before Nicola Pepe in the 69th minute and Joe Willock in the 88th minute made it 4-1 for Arsenal. In the end, quite a comfortable win over Molde at home. And now we're playing the reverse fixture 26th of November on Thursday, 5:55 kickoff. It should be, and it promises to be, a very interesting game. Again, I have no threats going into this game. I think we will put out a strong enough lineup to win this game quite comfortably. Hopefully some of the players that could be coming back from injury, maybe Pablo Mari, I don't expect him to start, but hopefully he's back. Martinelli is looking like he's going to come back very soon, but again, I don't expect him to start in this game. We are going to have a quick look at Molde Stadium. We're going to have a quick little interesting read about Molde if anyone is interested. If you're not, you can just skip to my predicted lineup. But Aker Stadium is one of Norway's most modern football stadiums, seating 11,200. In addition to the sporting facilities, the stadium has a restaurant, cafe, 10 kiosks, 52 toilets, a sports clinic, a laundry and a business facilities. There are unique media facilities, 2 camera platforms, an editing room, 8 commentary boxes, a press tribune, a workroom and meeting room for press conferences. The stadium, situated on the waterfront to the west of the town centre and designed by Molde architect Kjell Kosberg, has a granite and glass frontage. The stadium was paid for by Kjell Inge Roque and Bojan Rune Glisten and cost 212 million kroner in 1998. This is from visitnorway.com if anyone is interested where I'm reading this from, but shout out to them. And that is what Molde Stadium look like. And again, as we do know about Molde, formerly managed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Erling Haaland obviously used to play for Molde as well. But without further ado, we are going to get straight into our predicted lineup for this game against Molde. Starting off in goal, I will go with Runar Alex Runarsson. Again, this is a pretty obvious decision in my opinion because Runarsson he needs minutes now, and I think he did very well against Dundalk, but he didn't play in the home game versus Molde, and I think Leno worked really hard in the game against Leeds United and does deserve a rest going into this game against Molde away from home. And I think if he stays at home, maybe has a rest, and he'll be ready for the Wolves game at home, so which is why I'm going to go with Runar Alex Runarsson. But moving into our back four, first of all, on the right hand side, I'll go with Cedric Suarez. Cedric, again, I don't think he played the game against Molde at home, but yeah, again, the first 2 to Europa League games, the only games he really has played this season. He's played quite good performances, you know, he's done his job, and he's played alright, to be honest. He's done nothing wrong for himself, and again, he's done those performances very professionally, so I've got no problem with putting him there. Moving into our back two, first of all, David Luiz. He missed the Leeds game because he becoming a dad, not anything to do with the Sebas and Luiz punching incident, but David Luiz, I do expect him to come into this game, get a few minutes under his belt, ready for the Wolves game. If he may or may not play, I'm not too sure. If Arteta prefers Holding or Luiz at the moment, it's quite unclear in that perspective. Next to him, I'll go with Mustafi. Mustafi, again, he's been linked with January moves to the likes of Barcelona and Valencia, back to Valencia even, and he's a player that I think can do a very good job for us in an away game against Molde. Two very experienced players in Luiz and Mustafi, very professional players, and should get us the job done. In the left back row, I will go with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. That's not his preferred position, but I've really got no one else to put there. Tierney was, you know, he did so well against Leeds. I thought, you know, he was working very, very hard, and you know, he looked very tired at the end. And to be honest, you know, you have to give him a break. Serge Klasinac has corona, I think, so I don't think he'll be back for this game, but certainly Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a player who can fill in for this position. Saka obviously went off injured, so we haven't really got anyone in that place, so we'll have to go with Ainsley Maitland-Niles for this one. So that is my back four. Moving into three in midfield, first of all, Granit Xhaka. He did play a game against Leeds. I don't think, because I think Partey will be back for the Wolves game, I think Granit Xhaka should be playing this game against Molde. He should be ready. He didn't do much against Leeds, so it shouldn't be much of a problem. Moving into the middle of that midfield three, I will go with Joe Willock. He did come off in the game against Leeds. He was very poor in the game against Leeds, as I talked about in my post-match reaction player ratings. I thought, you know, Joe Willock wasn't that good, to be honest. He was very overhyped and didn't really do as well as, you know, people would have wanted him to do, because he did so well in the games against Dundalk and Molde, scoring goals and providing assists and, you know, creating a lot of chances for us. But he didn't do that against Leeds, and I do expect him to play in this game against Molde to get more minutes under his belt, because I don't see him playing the next game against Wolves. Next to Joe Willock, in the last player of the three, I will go with Emile Smith-Rowe. Now, Smith-Rowe, he's played a lot of games for the under-23s. He's scored quite a few goals for the under-23s, and, you know, Arteta has been talking about, especially before the Leeds game, how he wants to bring through young players. You know, apparently that's the DNA or whatever at Arsenal. You know, even though young players have regressed under Mikel Arteta, I think someone like Smith-Rowe really deserves a chance, especially when we've won our first three games. I think Arteta needs to start taking more risks in the play he's taking, because again, it's Molde, and you know, you can start, you know, young players like Balogun, Smith-Rowe. I don't think Balogun will play, but I'm just saying theoretically. But then you can just have like the likes of Aubameyang, Pepe, if everything goes southwards. So I think especially I want to see in these next three games Arteta's taking more risks in picking young players, and I think he has to start that by picking Emile Smith-Rowe. So that is who I'm going to go with in that position. And moving on to our front three, first of all, on the right hand side, I will go with Eddie Nketiah. Again, that's not his desired position, but I think he can do a job there. He is very quick, and you know, down the middle, he just hasn't been effective over the last few weeks. You know, last week match days, if you know what I mean. You know, especially in the Premier League, he hasn't been that good. So I think maybe on the right hand side, providing a little bit of pace there, he could be very good and very effective. And you know, again, be experimental. It's a game against Molde. You know, you can experiment. You know, you don't have to park the bus. You know what I mean. And I think we should be doing that. Moving into the left hand side, I will go Reece Nelson. He did actually come on in the game against Leeds, probably because he scored in the January FA Cup tie. But Nelson again didn't offer much in that Leeds game. But again, against Molde, you know, against these smaller teams, I think Reece Nelson, with his skill, with his power, with his ability, he can, you know, do very well in against teams like this. So I've got no problem with putting Reece Nelson on the left hand side. And finishing off my team down the middle, Alexandre Lacazette was dropped and didn't play a minute in the game against Leeds United, and I think he really needs to try and get his confidence back, you know, because he just hasn't been good enough. You know, after scoring 3 and 3 at the start of the season, after that he was in and out of the squad, then Arteta kept picking him, but then now, you know, he dropped him for the game against Leeds, and he just hasn't really worked out for Alexandre Lacazette. So I think in these games in the Europa League, he can get his confidence back and hopefully try and break back into the Premier League team to try and score some goals for Arsenal, because because right now we're not getting enough goals. And Arsenal Football Club in the Premier League, we've scored as many goals as Heung-min Son has. That is very embarrassing, and I think we need to do much better than that. But that is it for my predicted lineup. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I personally think we'll ease past Molde very easily in this one. I think, you know, even our backup team is very strong and should be good enough to beat Molde. But if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you are new to the channel, share it, subscribe as well. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.